Hello, Tony. I know you're here early. I'm early myself. I'm actually 4 minutes early. 4 minutes, yeah, 4 minutes or so. I know you're in the chat, Tony. How we doing? How we doing? I hope you're well. I hope your power's on. Do you have the power on? Because I know a lot of people down your end of the country haven't got any power. Same with up my end of the country. What is the West? Sorry, give me a second. Get my tablet. It's over here. How are we doing? Anyway, how is everybody doing? Sorry. We got our power back this morning. Yeah, I got mine. It was a bit later than this morning now, but we got it back, so we're good. I didn't take yesterday. We would be live today, to be totally honest. I presume because obviously she's in Finland. Not likely she's here. So, October is fucked. Yeah, well, this area was hit pretty hard. Like what budget in this area was hit quite hard. Not as bad as the coast. I don't know what's the story now about October. I know. Again, I mentioned the other video. I know a man that's just down the road. He has a heat pump and all that. That's only after coming. That's only after starting. It's only after getting it back walking now because power was out for good while. But it's power and Butters Bridge now at the moment here. But I know October wasn't too pleasant. And then obviously around Ballyconnor and stuff wasn't too pleasant either. And Pomboy up that direction too. At least 9th tomorrow. Yeah, we're back. Butters Bridge is back, and the town is back too. A lot of the town is back. There's other places around the county back. It's hard to keep up to date with it all, but I don't know about October. I think some areas in October. I think the other Anna Lake side, what they call it, that part. I don't know what you call classified as October. I think that's back around beside the pet crematorium around that area. I think it's up and going, but I don't know about the other after that. Yeah, I had no phone service or mobile data. Yeah, I had none of it for the last 2 days. That's why I wasn't here the last 2 days. I literally had none of it. So basically, the power was gone. The mobile data was gone too. So you're not the only one. A lot of cavan did. Like nobody could contact anybody. Like there was trees down and stuff like that, and people had to go to other people's houses, etc. Yeah, it was like that here too last night. It was total blackout. But sure, look, that's what happened, I suppose. But yeah, no, it was bad across Cavan. It was pretty bad. No, it was 100-hour winds or so Friday night. That was the speed of the winds. It was recorded in Cavan at 100 miles an hour. Supposedly there's another storm coming. It's not going to be as bad as the storm that's gone by. But yeah, it's pretty bad because I think at the peak there's nearly 100,000 people living in Cavan within the borders of County Cavan. Over nearly, it was 50. I think it was 56,000 people in Cavan had no electricity. So half of the county had no electricity. No, it's pretty bad. No, when you think about it, nearly 100,000, give or take, maybe we say 90 something, right? Yeah, everybody's chaos. I didn't move out much, but everybody's got mad. That's why I know people are crazy. Yeah, it was busy the day before. I was at work. What day was it? Thursday evening. Just Thursday evening. Going home from work, and it was lunacy. Everybody was going mad buying everything. So pretty much probably the same today. People, especially with the storm coming tomorrow, but it's not going to be as bad. People are freaking out a bit, I suppose. Even though there's not really much need to freak out, like the way a lot of people are freaking out. I would understand if there was going to be a pile of snow for a few weeks or something like that. Maybe it's time to freak out, but it's only supposed to be 4 days. So I know the electricity and stuff like that, but there's nothing really you can do about that. But yeah, the mobile data coverage really annoyed people because a lot of people were trying to get through to the ESB and to the local authority here in Cavan about trees and stuff like that, and it was a nightmare. Basically, to get all that sorted. Hundreds of people trying to ring the council, you couldn't get through because there was no mobile reception. It was insane. Especially people couldn't get mobile data. Nobody could. Basically, we had to do it the old-fashioned way here, Brian. It was funny. People had to come up here and tell me what was happening down the road because there was no phones and stuff like that. Because there was no mobile data, so people had to come to every the houses etc. to tell me what's happening down the road. So pretty much was back in the olden days. There was no at one stage was people handing around notes about things. Like there was people. There was one person down the road who had a stove, and he was cooking stuff and stuff like that. Electric, no, not electric stove, but a gas stove. Like not many people have gas stoves nowadays. So he was doing hot water for people for tea and stuff like that. So there was a note the old-fashioned way. You had to go instead of the WhatsApp groups because the WhatsApp groups were completely dead because obviously there's no mobile data, so people couldn't text or like that. So we had to go around the old-fashioned way with notes. So pretty much people going around handing notes out, So it's pretty much back to the olden days. Yeah, people. Yeah, there was a big flurry of people at one stage here in Cavan. Well, not one stage, but in Buttersbridge here in the Cavan area too. There was one stage that people were saying, up by, I don't know if you know, how would I say, I don't know, it's how to describe whereabouts this, but you know where Cullis Graveyard is there? Cullis Graveyard, just at the road there on the bypass, that side. There was a, people were saying there was a network signal, like good, like decently good, reception for some reason in that part, and basically everybody flowed there on the just like on the how would you put it? When you had the turn up, when you had the turn off there, when you turn up, basically somewhere there, right? It's hard to describe. I wasn't there, but basically people were flowing in there. There was a good few people went up from here that way for some reason because it was the word went out. There was reception or something there, and basically there was big flowy cars. But yeah, I know what you mean. I've seen myself along the way that people do. Charge my phone, yeah. But see, I have power banks. The good thing about me, I have loads of power banks. That are for emergencies and stuff like that. We have three. It's not more than three. We have 4 or 5 of them, like huge power banks for phones and stuff like that. Hello, how are you doing, Nate? How are you doing? You're just flying through. Yeah, everything's okay, 100%. Nothing. We're still here. Nothing happened in it. Here, I know. But yeah, no, I wouldn't have went out for a spin in the cow. Particularly, I hope we didn't go out Friday night because it was pretty dangerous. Uh, like there was a lot of trees down. There was a lot down in the Loetta College. I don't know if you know Loetta College going down. Loetta College just on the junction there about the Butters Bridge bypass, and you turn in to go into Loetta College. There was an insane amount of trees down that way. It was totally blocked Friday morning. Then go down to the hospital. It was totally blocked that way. Just trying to think of other places. Yeah, a lot of places around here was just totally blocked. No, there was a good lot down in Ballycon and stuff like that. You lost, yeah, of course. I do feel sorry too. Especially the people, as I say, about that man. I don't know if you've seen the video earlier on. There's a man just up the road here in Clover Hill. You probably know where Clover Hill is. But he has an electric car and he couldn't go anywhere. And, there was no power in his house. And he has an electric stove and he has a heat pump in his house. So, it's pretty shit. Some big tree down. Yes, there was. You right in that, yeah. But there's a lot of trees in the river at the moment, in the Anna Lee. There's going to be a lot of trouble with trying to move them. There's a lot of trees in the Anna Lee at the moment, like big, huge trees, like hundreds of years old. So that's going to be trouble moving them because they're falling into the river and they're stuck in the river. So basically, it's disrupting the flow of the water too. So that's going to be an issue coming up too. To try and clear all that, because if they're not cleared, they will probably block the water, the flow of the water. So that has to be done with sooner or later too. Hello, Kevin. How are we doing? Hope we're well. I hope everything's fine. I hope you have power and all that going. But yeah, especially people with pubs and stuff like that, you're totally fucked. because you rely on that for your heat and everything. Because this man too is just doing that. Oh, that's good to hear. It's good to hear because not many people have that to say at the moment. Well, yeah, but you talking? You're only saying about this now. Um, yeah, the change there's a bylaw. They want people to slow down, pretty much. They want that's pretty much what they want. They want people to slow down. The people are going too fast, pretty much. So that's what's happening at the moment. Um, but yeah, the problem is I keep saying in the videos, and I was told many times, we were told many times too, we wouldn't allow to cut the trees that are near power lines and the branches hanging over power lines. And that's what happened in Cavan in a lot of cases. The trees were literally grown into the power lines. And then when the trees fell, the power lines were with them. So, because the Green Party, that's the only reason why we wouldn't allow to cut them. And that's somebody from the local town. We wouldn't allow to cut them, but we were told not to cut them. But like you mean right now, yeah, like it's a good while ago since that's but I think they're changing. It's coming into effect soon. I don't know if it's in effect. Don't quote me 100% on that, but it's soon coming into effect. It is soon coming into effect. I don't know if it's now, but I highly doubt they're putting up the signs now. I haven't seen it, but it's sometime soon. I know it's not. It's a good few years ago at this stage. So we should see. I suppose I have to look into that. I suppose, but the majority of the Celts at the moment who wouldn't be too worried about signs. It's more about getting the roads clear and power restored and all that because there's a lot of issues and there's a good lot of broken infrastructure. Yeah, well, we see it was last week probably. Yeah. I can't remember seeing them. I probably didn't. I probably didn't notice. But I say it'll be soon coming into force. I have the chat. I checked that out actually. We'll ever get a chat this week. Most likely everybody on top of their heads. So. We'll get into obviously we have things to discuss, etc., but mostly about the storm. That seems to be the main thing. So that's that. I can't think of there's anything else. Just when I'm just here about Cavan, we're talking about Cavan. Just so the ES, no, this is from Ishka Air and the Irish Water, pretty much. So they're pretty much crying. So at the moment in time, there'll probably be a lack of water in Cavan because I'm looking at this now in email. It seems like there's problems with the reservoir in Cavan because in Kerry there's no water. The reservoirs are damaged. I think the reservoir is up in some kind of thing in the Cavan area is damaged or something. Because Iskin put at this now that people have to conserve water. Yeah, so it looks like there'll be a lack of water within the next few days here in Cavan. It does look to be. But nothing really yet. But definitely the worst thing was, and you're seeing all this now, it's definitely the no, no fucking what they call it. Interesting. Yeah. Oh, I actually know when you say that. Actually, yeah. Come to think of it, yeah, I've seen a few of them, but I just thought they were being replaced. Yeah, I did. I tell a lie. There's one there at the turn of Loretto College. If you're going into Loretto College, there's one's there. I've seen that because I walked by them. Hello, Fiona. How are we doing? I hope we have power and everything's good. But yeah, no, come to think of it, yeah, I thought they were just replacing. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, that's all over the place. Yeah, they're doing that now. Because there's ones in Butler's Bridge like that too here. And there's ones, I've seen ones in Beltobia White too. And there's ones in the town like it too. But yeah, you're right in that because I know what you're talking about. Is this black top that's on the signs? Yes. Uh, yeah, you're right in saying that. Yeah, it's been the last week or two. Yeah, I just didn't put two and two together in my head about it. Because see, we haven't been told to do it. I haven't done it. So I don't know who's doing it in the council. Somebody's doing it in the council. I don't know who it is. Probably the people over the signs. There's a crowd in the council over signs. So I presume they're doing it because we wouldn't told to do it. So we assume that's what it is. But I'll find out. I don't know. It's hardly coming into place yet. That's what I'm looking at my email too for. Because there could be something about it. But pretty much, yeah, most likely to be water restrictions in Cavan soon. Within the next day or two, because I don't think the reservoir has that much left in Cavan. Well, I don't know. I think it's damaged, first of all. You're grand. You're doing well. Well, it's good to see everybody. It's good to see everybody out and about. So I can go to the local media here in Cavan just to give you an up-to-date figure on what we're talking about, because at the moment in time it's the electricity that's the biggest issue in Cavan. There's 2,200 people affected in Ballyjim stuff for the month with no power. So it seems like tomorrow night, it's given in Ballyjim stuff tomorrow night by 9 o'clock. There's still 2,000 houses in Cavan town without any power. Yeah. It's pretty bad in Monaghan. What I'm saying by that is the water supply in Monaghan is pretty bad. It doesn't look too good in Monaghan. It looks a bit better here in Cavan, but not as good in Monaghan. Going by what I'm looking at here. But anyway, we soon get into it. We'll just chat for a few more minutes and then we get into the night. But mostly it's the storm, of course. There's nothing really else about that happening in the country. But yeah, interesting to know. I know about Brian. But is there anything is there anything like did you lose mobile data coverage, or did you lose the ability to operate your phones in your area? I know in Cavan, the majority of Cavan was like that. I think even 90% of the county was like that at one stage, that you couldn't use your phone pretty much. I don't know if there's other people like that in other parts of the country. Give me a moment. They're spying on us. Who's spying on us? Which person? Which government? There's not spying people spying on us. But yeah, so I hope everybody's well. I know there's a good few people here. I hope we're all well. I hope at least the electricity's on. I hope wherever you are, I hope there's electricity. And I hope it's warm. Hopefully, please God, it's off. Now, I know there's a lot of the country still, there's 500,000 or so people across the whole country without electricity, or maybe 400,000 at this stage. So it's a lot. Oh, you're watching that? You're watching the boxing match, are you? Well, I hope everything's well down there, Aaron Only. Oh, back 2 hours ago, yeah. A lot of people are getting it just in the last. When was it this morning I got it? It was 11 o'clock this morning we got it here. So, yeah, a lot of people only getting it now the last few hours. So that's good. So, with the next. Yeah, the ESB is only going to 10 o'clock. and that's it for tonight for them. And then they'll be back out at 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning. So yeah, all's well. Yeah, nothing too major, apart from the electricity went for a while. That's about it. Nothing. Then the mobile data and stuff like that. But the grand scheme of things, nothing really too bad happened. But it would have been worse if you were in Galway or in the Owen Islands, God forbid, because you're literally getting battered from both sides. If you live in the islands, like I couldn't imagine how bad it could be if you live on an island like the Owen Islands or Towie Island or something like that. Like you'd be blown away. Compared to the inland, like it was 100 miles an hour. The wind in Cavan, which is the first time. I think it's nearly 70 years or something like that. It was 100 miles an hour wind in Cavan. Um, Something like that. It's a long time ago since it was 100. It was oftentimes 80 and 70 miles an hour sometimes, but it never was 100 in a long, long time. I was told, and that's what it was measured in Cavan. It was 100 miles an hour at 5 o'clock Monday. No, what am I talking? Monday, Friday morning at 5 o'clock. It was about 100 miles an hour in County Cavan. So yeah, it was pretty bad, especially for an inland county. Wouldn't mind if it was on the coast. It shouldn't be probably that much to be doing. As I said, it's very rare it goes above 100 miles an hour in Cavan. But yeah, so in Mallowhead too, up in Donegal, it was the most violent winds since 1945. That's the last time it was the most violent winds here in Mallowhead and Donegal. So hello, Trent. How we doing? But yeah, it was pretty violent storm now. Like I could see it without Met Hair and telling me, like looking on the thing, like seeing the storm pressure. You could tell it was a big storm. Like the one that's coming tomorrow isn't that big when you look at it on the radar and stuff like that. It isn't that big. But still, probably be violent enough around the coast, not so much inland. But in the grand scheme of things, not thankfully wasn't too much loss of life. There was one fellow that was killed in Donegal. I don't know about any. There was no injuries in Cavan as far as I gather. With any injuries, I don't think so. God, yeah, it was worse here. There was a shed in the river at the moment, like a metal shed that was lifted up and fucked into the river down here too. That's stuck in a tree down the river there. So there's a metal shed stuck in the river. There's multiple, like not just even trampolines. There's multiple sheds just broken in bits, lying around the road. A lot of that. There's a lot of TV areas just lying around too, but not so much trampolines. There's none. I haven't come across any yet. Trampolines, but yeah, the most famous things for flying around the place. Yeah, that's really it. Yeah. Hello, little thing. How we doing? Yeah, like do you want me? If I named off all the trees, because Cavan was pretty bad for trees coming down everywhere. If I named off all the trees that came down now and only, I'd be here all night. Because there was a lot of trees, like in Cavan, there was a lot, particularly around this area, there was a lot. As I say, there's even some. I don't know if you hear anyone. There's some in the river at the moment. Now, there's two big trees that are probably 200 or 300 years old, stuck in the river at the moment. Like they're fully tipped over each side of the river, pretty much, just down there. So there's going to be some job to remove that because they're monsters of trees, like huge trees. So that's going to be some effort to move them. But the river's too high at the moment to do anything about it. But yeah, they need to be removed because it's kind of into the flow. The water is flowing, but it's this. If things come along down the river, it's going to block the river and then the place will flood. That's the problem at the moment. But not yet. If there's more rain, there'll be a problem. But that's why we need to clear the blockage before it becomes a problem. And that's the same across the county too. There's a lot of trees and stuck in rivers, and that's causing blockages and then obviously stopping the flow of water. So that needs to be dealt with at some stage. Yeah, so you're probably more high tech to me. I wouldn't know about settings, like my phone settings. I just keep it whenever it's on. I don't even know what it's on, as long as it works. I don't. I should have probably tricked around with it because I didn't have any reception yesterday. But not, I tell a lie. No, it was early morning yesterday. My reception went of my phone, my mobile data went, etc., etc. After my power. And the same for the majority of people on here, it all went at the same time, and nobody could communicate whatsoever. It was the old-fashioned way, like people going around, as I said earlier on, where we were saying about where the fuck is it gone? Don't say use them all up for this stage. Um, like we were all going around with sticky things. That's what everybody was doing, writing notes. Because there was one man down the road with a gas stove. He was able to boil water for people. So everybody was going to his house, and how we knew, because people were writing on paper saying the man down the road has a gas stove. He can make your tea. You can make your tea, and that's what people were going around doing. Because not many people has gas stoves. Like there was a huge effort here to find people with gas stoves. There's literally nobody. Years ago, the one were popular. Nobody has a gas stove now, run by gas. Like everything's electricity. Mine one downstairs is electricity too. So that was the old-fashioned way, because there was no WhatsApp groups or anything. It was just the old-fashioned way, going around with a piece of paper and stuff like that, and word of mouth. Like people were telling me about stuff that was happening down the road, So it was kind of the old-fashioned way of doing things, which was funny because all the technology failed, everything failed, and nobody could ring the local tower, nobody could ring the ESP. It was just all a mess for a lot of time. But technically, nothing bad happened, as I say, in this area. I know. Now, there was a few houses in Cavan too that were burgled. The burglars took advantage of the blackout because nobody could see anything, and they robbed a few places. So that's what happened down in the county, down towards Ballyjim stuff. Even though we know they're very low lives to do that and pretty much darkness, but that's because nobody could see out 5 feet. So that's what happened. Unfortunately, there's people like that to take advantage of it. Yeah, like it's panic now at the moment in the shops. But it's not really the brainwash thing. I wouldn't say, because it was pretty bad. I'm not going to say it wasn't bad. It was definitely pretty bad. Like, I'm not going to lie to you, but it could have been worse. It could be worse. It would have been worse. Maybe it could be worse in the future. But yeah, no, there was no need for people to panic. Like people just instantly just panic. Without any brainwashing or anything, that it was just kind of instantly panic. Yeah, like it'd be worse than the crowd. How did you see him for today or tomorrow? And in terms of, because the power would be definitely bad. Restoring power around that area. If he lives near the coast, if he lives inland in Clare, you might be restored. Yeah, like a lot of people couldn't. That was the thing for me too. A lot of people couldn't have their tea, so a lot of people had to go to a man because there was no other way of making tea. So no outside toilets. Except for and outside toilets. No, there's not really much outside toilets. When I was growing up, there was a few people outside. Majority of people have indoor toilets now. It's very rarely you see people. Never. I don't know if actually anybody that has an outdoor toilet at the moment. It's more the electricity. If any gust of wind comes to top, as I said about it, the problem in Cavan, the problem in Leitrim, the problem everywhere in rural Ireland is the trees. As soon as the tree falls, because the tree is like that's the pole here, right? That's the pole here. The tree is literally right there. So when the tree falls, the pole it hits the wire because the trees are too close to the poles. That's the thing. The trees are not away from the poles; they're on top of the poles. And it's the same with the branches. The branches fall, the wires go with them. That's the problem here in Cavan a lot. Like in the majority of cases with the electricity is out. In Butler's Bridge was the same. There was a tree that fell on the line, and that's what took the line with it. The tree fell on, and that was it. Because the tree was far too close to it. The tree was literally stuck in the wire. So it doesn't take a genius to kind of figure that one out. But again, this is the thing. It was marked that, like that tree where I'm talking about specifically, it was marked down that tree could fall and that it was a danger. And we weren't allowed to cut it because the boards and stuff like that, the Green Party. And that's the reason why the local authority are told not to do it. Years ago, the councils would have cut the trees beside the wires and stuff like that to, what would you call it? Shave it, I suppose. To shave it down. But nowadays, you're not allowed to do it. You're simply not. You ask any local authority, you're not allowed to do it. And if you do it, you go to prison. That's the thing. Because the Green Party, and you're not allowed to do it, the animals and stuff like that. That's what the Green Party would tell us. Because many times it was said about cutting branches that were hanging over wires, and you were told not to do it. from the higher ups, they were told not to do it. You weren't allowed to. The government said so. So it's the same with the drains. You wonder why the drains are blocked because the councils are told not to clean them. So I don't get it, but sure. Um, so it's crazy stuff. But it's good. Everybody is not too bad. Again, no physical damage or no house, structure damage, is what we call it. That's good anyway. Um, yeah, but not many. There was nobody reports apart from that fellow in Donegal that the tree fell in his cow. Uh, you know. Oh, you talk about the wire thing. Yeah, the wire thing. It could be easily enough done. It was done in the past. It can be done now. But it's the fact of the matter that we're not doing it. Like there's many situations there in Cavan who could have been prevented there, because if the tree was cut down literally on top of the wire, you know, and not to mention then obviously the branches hanging over it, but it's the Green Party. That's what we were told from the higher ups and stuff. Because many times it came up. It came up many times throughout the years that trees would get grown into the wires. And they were told to do nothing about it because the Green Party, the boards, and the usual. And then they wonder why the place, electricity goes off and stuff. And the same with the water, the drains along the side of the road. We're told not to do them. Like the local authority is told not to do them. The councilmen are told not to do them, not to clean them out. And you wonder why the place floods. It's insane because literally the local authority told not to do them. Like it's insane thing. And then we're crying. Then you hear them crying on the way. The place is flooding when you tell the local authority not to clean them out. It doesn't make much sense. They built, yeah. Yeah, but again, as I said in the video earlier on, all these electricity, because again, everything's electricity nowadays. Nothing is gas and nothing is coal and stuff. And when the electricity grid fails, you've seen yourself, everything just collapsed pretty much in the nicest possible way. That's what happened. In Cavan, where we were at the moment, everything just collapsed because the electricity thing went, and that's what happened. Right, we'll get started, I suppose, but the main thing is probably the storm. Hopefully everything's working okay. Might be a bit fucked. So I just started in the United States for a second. So this was the 24th, just gone by yesterday, actually. So apologies. For the first time in 30 years, there have been sewer shootings and sewer victims in New York City for the past 5 days. Think about that. 5 days for the last 30 days. So Donald Trump's making an impact here because they're too afraid to shoot each other in case to be locked up for a long time. So there you go. And that's a person. That's what the NYPD, like official source, the NYPD itself. So imagine that in the whole of New York City, there has been literally no shootings for 5 days straight, and this is the first time in 30 years this has happened. So there you go. So Donald Trump's doing something because as I say, it's quite remarkable, especially because you usually hear in New York there's shootings every day. So that's a good sign. The probably is unfortunately probably is broken now today, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing to say that nobody's been shot. I know it's probably irrelevant to us, but I just wanted to bring you that because it's quite interesting to see because on the Biden every day there was people. I think I looked at the figure. It was something like a lot of people being killed in New York under Biden when he was there. So it's interesting to see. Yeah, so there you go. So big news to just stay in the United States for the moment. So Donald Trump has signed the executive order to release the John F. Kennedy files, the Robert F. Kennedy files, and Martin Luther King too. And as somebody says, this is probably what the files are going to be like, just all blanked out. Because there has to be something in the files that the United States government, the intelligence of the CIA, the FBI, doesn't want the only Joe to see. Because it was 1963 John F. Kennedy was shot and killed in Dallas, in Texas. And the same with Martin Luther King I think a year later, was it something like that? Robert F. Kennedy, I think, was the end of the 60s, going into the 70s, something like that. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, so there's definitely something because they would have released it long ago if there was nothing to hide. Because why would they hold back and if there was nothing to say? Like if they had nothing to hide, if they had everything was okay, and what? It's definitely there was some conclusion with the United States government with the CIA, because there's definitely no reason why they should have hid it for this long. Um, because pretty much everybody relating to the case is dead, nearly dead. You it's not really of any benefit to hold it back and not to show the American people, not even just the American people, the world, what happened on that day, the real truth, everything that was left out. So hopefully it does. We would like to see it, like the truth come out. Oh, the truth. Hopefully again, it won't be like this, just blanked out words, etc. So we don't want that. But there definitely will be pushback from the CIA, etc. Because they don't want to release it, and the same with some people in the federal government. They don't want to release it now. This yoke. So we see what happens. We wait and see what happens. But again, we can only know by looking at the files. That's the thing. But again, hopefully they will be come out, as I say. So we shall see. We shall see what happens. Yeah, he said troops to board the United States Marines. So Fianna Fáil's trying to literally drive people mad. So yeah, I don't know why they still use this photo of Norma Foley. Like, can you not update the photo too, to be totally honest? But anyway, as you probably heard, Norma Foley is now Minister for Children. Pretty much Roderick O'Gorman. So where are the children, Norma? Instead of Roderick, we have to say, where are the children, Norma? So as you know, there's loads of children missing in state care and Tusla's care. She's over Tusla at the moment. God help us all. She's over Tusla, and she's the Minister for Equality. God help us all, definitely. But yeah, where are the children, Norma? Like that should be the question. Where are they? Like somebody needs to ask this question of Norma Foley very quickly. Where are the children? But yeah, definitely. This woman should be in any government position, not known as a TD, but should the people carry forward to the win. But look at I think the word illusion they voted for her. But democracy. But yeah, Norma Foley. Hello, Queenfish. How are you doing? We hear you got blown away. I'm only joking. But how are you doing? You're down in Clare. I hope it's not too bad. I hope you have power and hope your power is back and stuff. Make food the outage. He probably will. He'd make food out of a lot of them. Though he was at the World Economic Forum, but he wasn't at it. He was on line. But yeah, he made food at the World Economic Forum. So we see what happens. Those who shall not be named. Just speaking about the storm and stuff like that. This was in Galway, in Connemara. So it was pretty bad. You can see the windmill. And this is your electricity grid in Ireland. The windmills. But it was pretty severe. Like, all jokes aside about windmills, etc., etc. Fall Mountain, I love this. Like it was pretty bad when you see that. Like literally, it was cracked into bits. But there you go. There's your green energy, Eamon Ryan. So yeah, just go through this. Former Taoiseach Leo Farkas now getting a nice job in Harvard University on public leadership. On public leadership. Leo always delivers. He always delivers, Leo. He'd probably leak a few documents when he's there, so. In fact, yeah, it was violent here too at times. You got your power back. Well, that's good. That you got your power back. You have everything and you're okay and you're not. There's no structural damage, I hope, I know. Yeah, we lost our phone reception, Greenface, here in Cavan. And we lost our power. So pretty much was like everything fucked up, pretty much. Technically, everything's back. No, we're not. I can't speak for all of Cavan. Here on this part of Cavan is okay at the moment, but not other parts. Yeah, where was that? The Irish Independent. Where am I here? So this is to do with Michael Lowry. So first of all, he probably should be in prison for his role in taking money, etc., etc. We could write the book of Michael Lowry. He's a smoke son of a bitch. Excuse my language, but that's what he is. So pretty much, Pierce Doherty pretty much said in the Dáil that he was corrupt. We all knew that anyway, but there's more information, I suppose, that wasn't leaked before to do with the Manhattan Tribunal, etc., the big fucking uh, tribunal that cost the state billions of euro just to say these people were corrupt that we already knew about it. But yeah, so yeah, this person's he's supporting the government, etc. He's so-called independent, but pretty much he's Fine Gael in disguise. He was Fine Gael before. He's pretty much Fine Gael now, but he's basically part of the government. It doesn't matter. But long story short, we see what he says in the Dáil because I don't know can he really bite himself out of this one because it's proven time and time again he's a bit of a low light. Well, one would call him a light light, a corrupt bastard. Excuse that's a nicer word to say. And shouldn't probably be representing the Dáil Éireann in Dáil Éireann. He shouldn't be represented, and the people shouldn't have voted for him in the first place. To be totally honest, he should have been in the prison cell, and he wouldn't be able to be voted in. But this is how Ireland works, you know. People like him get in all the time. But yeah, but if you call him an independent, I don't know what to say to you because he literally said he supports the government through good and bad times. So we should see what he says in the Dáil because he probably should talk about the meeting he had in the farmyard that Pure Starter of Sinn Féin mentioned. We need to know what happened there and what kind of carry on was happening there. But so he obviously will spin it and lie and talk shit. What do you expect, I suppose, from Michael Lowry? Yeah, I seen that too. Yeah, there's a lot of areas around here too. Yeah, but I feel more worried. Like I don't know if you've seen the video earlier on, but there's a man up the road. Thankfully, he has the power back and all that now. But he has an electric car. He has an electric stove, like myself. His electricity's out, and he has a heat pump. So the heat pump works on electricity. So he had basically nothing. Pretty much, he couldn't put on anything. So I just want to talk about this. So this was Sky News the other day. So pretty much this is to do with the murder of the three young lasses in England that were stabbed by this monster. So pretty much, like you can kind of read here, Sky News journalists ordered the producer to cut the conversation when the interviewer blamed the police and politicians for refusing to enforce the law against dangerous individuals like this fella, this evil fellow. So yeah, you can kind of see like if you watch it's gone viral. But you can kind of see here because he was saying too much truth. You can see like she's like cut it. We don't want to hear it. They basically just like cut it. I just play this bit. As soon as he was saying too much truth, because it's the truth. Again, the people to blame behind these girls being killed is the British intelligence office because he was on the way to British intelligence. He was on the pretty much on a watch list before the incident, etc. And the people to blame are the police and the politicians. And that's the simple that. Like it's the simple truth. There's nobody else to blame here but them and the intelligence office. Because these are the people to blame. It's simple as that. It's not. We can't blame the children. We can't blame the parents that were there. We can't blame anybody else because it's the police and the politicians' fault and the intelligence office mainly. And it's again that these people are not being dealt with quicker. And that's the thing. And Sky News didn't like that because you can't say that. You can't question this. Yeah, he looks like a demon. Yeah, even saying that's probably hate speech. But no, definitely very, very. Prison's not. The only thing I say, prison's not good enough for him. To be totally honest, the only thing to do with these people is the rope. To be totally honest, for crimes like this, because it's inexcusable crimes to go and stab 3 young children to death, and could have killed more. There's no. I don't think in my mind. There's no prison. In my mind, that shouldn't be a thing. We shouldn't give them the right for prisons there. Yeah, we're not going into all the details. It's very disturbing. But the only thing I say is you should never have been allowed to do it. You should never have been able to do it. Because he was on the way to the British intelligence office. He should have been dealt with before it even happened. But it's the fact that nothing was done about it. Because again, we all have to admit it. The only reason why the British intelligence office done nothing about it or decided not to look into it or anything like that, because they were afraid of being called racist, and that's the only reason why. We all have to say it. That's the only reason why. If you posted something, saying that the man can't become a woman, the British intelligence office will be out very quickly. Like they would be out very, very quickly. If we said that now in England, they'd be out within a minute because you called a man a woman. If you done that in Britain and you're an only Joe, you'd be dealt with very quickly. But again, these people can run around the place doing this in the choosing. Yeah, but I don't even think that should be the punishment because the crime is so severe. That's my point. And the crime is so severe that there has to be more formal, especially to people that could do it in the future. To send the people message they shouldn't do this, and that's what I'm saying. Because I don't think, like, to be generally honest, with crimes like this, I don't think we should show any mercy. To be totally honest with you, and I'm usually somebody that would show mercy to people if they need forgiveness and stuff like that. But I don't think there's any forgiving anything that this evil man has done. Regardless of his race, regardless of who he is, he still has done a heinous crime, took the lives of 3 young children that had their whole lives ahead of them, and probably has disturbed many children that seen it for the rest of their lives. I don't think a mental institution is good enough. Simple as that. I didn't know there was more than British intelligence officer because he was on the terror watch list, so they should have looked into him a lot more. But that was the only reason why. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but that's the only reason why it seems. Because if you were in England the moment you said men can't become women, which is a straight scientific fact, you would have MI6 probably calling at your door saying you're committing hate speech because you're not agreeing with that a man can become a woman. And that's what I'm saying. The police are too busy worrying about that than about actually fighting terrorism and people like this fellow that goes around doing these things. And that's the problem with the Western world. We're too busy worrying about them, small crimes, instead of worrying about people that can actually go out and kill people and stuff like that. That's just my opinion. Don't shoot me, but that's just my opinion. Just to say, but that's the way I see it. So we're moving on to a different thing here. Stog fines need to be issued locally to tackle the source. Now, first of all, many things here. It doesn't matter. The laws are there; they're not being enforced. We could issue fines if the cows come home. It takes about 9 years to get up to court for these things, and not to mention when it goes to court, the judge lets them off with it. So pretty much, it doesn't matter. You can increase the fine to €1 million. It's the fact of the matter that half of these things that were reported in, etc., in cavan are not followed up, and there's no will to follow them up. So pretty much there's no will to enforce them. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter. You can issue fines so the cows come home, but if there's no will to enforce it, you might as well write toilet paper. That's to be totally answered to. Because if there's no will from the local authorities to enforce the fines, how are you going to enforce them? Simple as that. And that's the problem in cavan. There's no will to enforce it. So unless we get the will to enforce it, councils and stuff like that, and the judges particularly to be fierce on them and stuff like that, and let them off, nothing's going to change. Simple as that. Because you can issue fines as much as you want, but it's enforcement of it. That's another thing. And that's something they don't want to address because it's the truth. But yeah, just to briefly touch now, and just as I was saying, I should have probably brought this up first. Yeah, so the 70 times, this is earlier on now, just a while ago. Probably has changed a bit now. It's at 8 o'clock or so, this article came out. No, when we're talking about 8 o'clock, it was at about 6 o'clock or so, I think. So as you can see, it was pretty bad in County Mayo. Cavan's come a long way, obviously, since then. But yeah, as you can see, there's still a lot of places, particularly in other parts of Cavan, that I like that. So yeah, you have all the councillors coming out and talking about doing this, doing that, doing the other. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that's discussed and should have been done long ago. That's insane. Let me say, just refresh. Yeah, that's it. So something that I talked about a lot. So this is Irish territorial waters, just to say it's huge. You're probably sick of listening to me, but this is Irish territorial waters, so quite big. So yeah, there's a big, huge uproar at the moment that there's Ireland pretty much only has one ship in the high seas. What I'm trying to say. So as you see, Ireland has a huge amount for TikTok and emergency services, all that. Like just to say, over 70% of the international cables are close to Ireland, like in Irish territorial waters or in Irish territorial waters. So half of the world's cables are coming from Ireland, pretty much, to the United States and stuff like to Canada or other countries like that. So, and we only have one ship to patrol it. Like that's all the patrol, all this water. One ship, one Irish Navy ship. That's it. Ship can't do all this. It's about 200 square miles. 200. It's a lot of, particularly out here in the Atlantic, more than in here, I suppose, because of a lot of it's in British territorial waters. But yeah, just tell you how much of a challenge it is. Only up the road. Yeah, see, I know a bit about this case. I don't know too much about it. I know about it and stuff. They're probably more knowledgeable, but I am keeping an eye on it. Don't think I'm not. It is some, as I said to you before, there's questions about it. In some aspects of the case, they need to be answered. But apart from that, I don't know all the details. But this I will say, looking at it, because I looked at it 2 or 3 times, there's 1 or 2 questions that need to be answered by the authorities about, in some circumstances of it. So that's all I say, because I don't know all the full details of it. So give me a moment. Sorry, give me a moment. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, but going back to the government formations, etc., etc. So Matty Maguire voted for Micheál Martin. Excuse me, he voted for Micheál Martin in the Dáil there the other day. So he basically voted for Micheál Martin to become the Taoiseach, pretty much. Now, I'm not very happy with Matty Maguire doing that. He shouldn't have done it. He should have at least vetoed it, not voted, abstained, I suppose is the word to call it. He shouldn't have voted for Micheál Martin to be Taoiseach, and he shouldn't have voted for the government. But he's a part of Michael Lowy's group, the Regional Independent. So he pretty much is in the same boat as the government now. So hopefully he objects to stuff from the government. Hopefully he's just not doing that for his speaking rights, etc., in the Dáil. Because if I was in his position, I wouldn't have voted for Micheál Martin. I would have abstained. I wouldn't have joined this group of Michael Lowy anyway, heading it. I wouldn't have done it in the first place. I would have rather stayed on my own, even though you might not get as much speaking time, etc. But rather stay on my own and be an independent voice than be in the pockets of the government. So that's what I say. So hopefully Matty Maguire changes his tune as quick as possible, because it's voting. It's no point criticizing Micheál Martin, calling him Hitler, etc., etc. And especially, I would deem, and a lot of people deem Matty Maguire being at the establishment. When you go into bed with the government and vote for them, and I wouldn't do it. After all the government has done, particularly Micheál Martin, I wouldn't do it. That's my opinion. I wouldn't do it if I was in his position. I wouldn't have done it. A man that doesn't believe in Irish sovereignty, I couldn't have done it. But I wouldn't have done it. I would have rather give up my seat in Dáil Éireann than do it. But he shouldn't have done it. That's what I said to him. And he should really take these actions. That's what I say. I don't know about Carol Nolan. I know about Matty Maguire. Loads of people talk about. I think more people are very annoyed with Matty Maguire more than Carol Nolan. I think she did, but I don't know about the one with. I think she did for the Taoiseach one for Micheál Martin, but I don't know about the one for the government ministers. I don't know about that. I haven't seen the records of it all yet, but I know Matty Maguire did. But I'm disappointed that they did that. Even if they abstained, I would have been more happy if they abstained and said no, we won't. But they're supporting the government. They shouldn't be doing it in the first place. Especially the nomination for Taoiseach and the cabinet. They should have done it. At most, they should have abstained. For most of all, I wouldn't have joined Michael Lowy anyway, because you might as well join Fine Gael at that stage and Fianna Fáil, because Michael Lowy is pretty much Fine Gael, Fianna Fáil. Like you're pretty much joining Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. Like you might as well cross out the independent and put Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael. Because you're pretty much solving them. Not an independent. If you're in with Michael Lowy and them, you're not an independent. That's why I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have joined. First of all, I wouldn't have joined Michael Lowy anyway, because he's a corrupt son of a bitch. Second of all, I wouldn't have voted for Fianna Fáil again, particularly Micheál Martin. I have loads of grievances with Micheál Martin. With a backwards looking idea of sovereignty. I keep bringing it up, but I simply could not, in good conscience, vote for a man that doesn't believe in Irish sovereignty. I simply could not do it. Whatever about maybe Simon House, you could maybe force me to do that, but I could not, in goodwill, fucking vote for that. And I deem that as nearly treasonous, what Micheál Martin said. Doesn't believe in Irish sovereignty. I nearly would go as far as the treason, to be told as. To be told as. And that's that's what I nearly deem it as, that statement. And he still hasn't, like, it'd be different if he came out and said, I don't agree with that now. But he never came out and said, I don't agree with what I said back then. Because people can change their opinions, of course. But he never bothered. Never bothered to revisit it, you know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we'll see, you know. We'll see. But I couldn't do it. I'm just saying if I was in Matty McGrath's position or Carol Nolan's position, I wouldn't have done it. Wouldn't have done it. Didn't say that. Who didn't say which? I know he did. Like, it's records in the doll, and you know, if you look it up, like Micheál Martin backwards looking at yourself, and it's pretty much that's from 2000 and I think 2017. He was in the opposition at the time. He said it. But it pretty much can be interpreted that. You know, it might not be word for word, but it's pretty much interpreted as that. But yeah, there's loads of evidence of it. Like, yeah, there's loads of evidence of it. But you know, I'm just saying for myself, I wouldn't, if I sat in Dáil at the moment as an independent, I couldn't have sat there and voted. Simple as that. I couldn't do it because I nearly would deem it as I would nearly be saying the treason act should be about it. Yeah, we want nothing to do with the backwards. Did I say it another way? We want nothing to do with the backwards looking idea of sovereignty. We're fully committed to the ideas of the European Union. So, you know, there's many things to say there. No, I've seen it in my recommended. I haven't got time to watch it. I haven't watched it. I'll probably get around to watch it, but I did see it. I've seen it pop up about the problems in Lisbon. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm just tricking here for a second. He's tricking around. Getting this here. One moment, sorry. Having to find these things. There was something else I wanted to talk about. Yeah, here we are. What's this now? Like, I wouldn't mind from the former Portuguese colonies. But other countries outside of that, I don't know should they be in Portugal, to be totally honest. Whatever about Mozambique and stuff like whereas Mozambique and it's what they call it, like the African colonies do have. I'm going blank, but you know what I'm saying. The old African colonies, you would understand it because they probably do owe them something because, you know, Portugal wasn't the greatest to the African subjects, and they had colonies in the Pacific too. They've one colony and a bit of India too, and China at one stage too. No, not Rhodesia. Rhodesia was British. It was British. It's another part. I can't specifically. Mozambique, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't think of the other colony. It was in Africa, and then there was some other small holdings they had. I can't think of it now. It's near South Africa. Yeah. Though Sorry, give me a moment. Algeria, blah, blah, blah. What do you call it? Algeria, Angola. Yes, Angola. Yes, thank you. No, Angola. Yes, was Angola. No, but like not like in the last 100 years. During the Second World, it's about the 60s or so was it when Portugal decolonized. Yeah, Angola. It's Angola and Mozambique. I wouldn't mind people from there because that was a former Portuguese territory for a long time. And then there was one in the Pacific. What do you call it? It's beside New Guinea. But yeah, they wasn't too great with the colonies in some regards. East Timor, yeah, that's what it's called. Now, obviously, they wasn't as bad as the Belgians, and in some cases, the British too, and the French. But they're still bad enough to them. There was a few things. So I wouldn't mind too much if they were there. And the same with the people from the Congo. I don't mind them going to Belgium because they probably owed a lot, but particularly from Belgium, for all the hardship caused by the Belgians in the Congo. Not nice stuff happened there now. But yeah, it's just to say, just going back to the Taoiseach's vote, one of the Fine Gaelos, I think it was Fine Gael, was it? Yeah, I think he's Fine Gael. Fine Gael, Fine Gael. But pretty much Fine Gael, Fine Gael means no difference. Here you go. On his first day, he was locked out of the chamber, so he couldn't vote for on Taoiseach, Micheál Martin, excuse me, Micheál. So he got locked out of the chamber. So basically, when there's a vote in the Dáil, any vote, even the Shannon too, the doors are locked so people can't get in or out. So that's what happens. So he couldn't vote, and his first time voting, he missed the vote. So I don't know where he was because the Dáil bells ring for about 10 minutes before the vote. So I don't know what he was doing. Oh, I know. I get what you're saying. Don't get what you're saying. But more so Ireland and stuff like that, because I don't know where we were in the world. I don't remember us colonizing Africa, I suppose, if that makes any sense. Or the other parts of it. I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But more so Ireland, Norway, I suppose, would say too, and other countries. They probably shouldn't be here. Wherever about anywhere else they might have a claim to, they shouldn't be here on this island. A lot of them, anyway. But I get what you're saying. There's far too many people coming in. Everybody agrees with that. There's far too many people coming into Europe as a whole. But you know what I'm saying? The people that are from the former colonies probably have a better claim than people coming from, say, Libya or Albania. Sorry, excuse me, Albania, Georgia. The countries that are coming here. I don't know where. I don't remember Ireland ever conquering Albania. I don't remember seeing that in my history book. I don't know about you, but I never seen that in our history book. They were Ireland went off to conquer Albania. Maybe the Italians, maybe, but but yeah, no. Where am I taking about now? Like Paris, I don't know much about Lisbon. I've seen the video that you're talking about. I'll probably get around to watching it at some stage. But particularly Paris, as you know, is not the greatest situation at the moment around Paris. And then obviously London, but London's gone. You can't really think of any other cities. Yeah, but Lisbon's supposed to be bad because I've seen the odd stuff on Twitter. I didn't see the video, but I've seen odd stuff on Twitter about things beforehand. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying about all these Albanians coming to Ireland and Georgians. I don't remember us conquering Georgia or Albania. Maybe if we did, we would have more claim to come, if that makes any sense. But if you went like that, it'd never stop. I don't know if that makes any sense, but good evening, Sean. How are we doing? I hope everything's well. I hope you have power. Because I presume where you are, it's pretty bad. Um, oh yeah, I've seen him on Twitter. I've seen him on Twitter, yeah, but I didn't see the video in question you're talking about. I've seen the many things about Lisbon and stuff, and about Portugal in general, things on Twitter mainly. So the ESP just after giving an update, they're saying the majority of people would have power until the 31st of January. So pretty much February, I'm trying to say. Never lost power. That's good. Not many people can say that, Sean, at the moment. We lost power here and stuff like that. Yeah, no YouTube notification figures. But yeah, we lost power here. There was no mobile reception. The whole place was fucked. I can chat now. I think that's really it for tonight in terms of cover and stuff. We can just chill out for a few minutes. How's that sound? Bum, bum, bum. Snow, all right. Yeah, well, there's some snow in Cavan too. Not everywhere. No, there was only a light bit of snow. Ba-bum. Yeah, people are panic buying. Yeah, same today. People are panic buying today. But sure, this is just the new normal now. I know people don't like that word, but yeah, it's just the new norm in this country. As soon as any kind of weather comes at all, people panic buy. Well, Dublin wasn't that bad, I don't think, in the grand scheme of things. Sure, it was the same a few weeks ago when the snow came and the frost and stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't mind if there was going to be, say, 50 or 100 feet of snow. You would probably understand people would panic by then for a few weeks on end. Like, I wouldn't want to see it in some parts of Finland, etc., etc. You know. Bum, bum, bum. See, I'm just chilling now. There's a lot of stuff I could cover, but I think I just not bother for tonight because I'm a bit well, not tired, but I'm kind of like just want to chill out. If that makes any sense. Uh, so there's another storm coming tomorrow, and so we're going to all enjoy that, I presume. But I don't think it's going to be as bad. It's not going to be as bad. Maybe in the coast in Kerry and stuff like that. Can't remember what it was. Something I was going to say, but I can't remember now. Oop. Yeah, there's another one, but it's not going to be as bad now. So don't panic by it. Um, no, it's not going to be as bad. Like there's supposed to be, no, I don't know what's called or whatever, but it's only supposed to be rain and a bit of wind. And that's about it. It's not severe. It's not even close. Like the storm that came in yesterday. You can see it on the radar and stuff like that. On satellite photos and stuff like that. It was a big storm coming. This one's only kind of like an only pretty much weekend storm. What I mean by saying it's pretty much just rain and a bit of wind. That's about it. Yeah, that's what we were just saying earlier on. I don't know if you hear at the time. There was a few houses broke into and a few farm yards broken into because there was no power and nobody could see anything. So, perfect opportunity, unfortunately, for thieves and stuff like that. Because on the Gaudi, there's no like even just today, like even today, like a lot of people couldn't ring Mogadishu in O'Connor if there was a problem. If somebody was breaking into your house, you couldn't ring because there was no reception for a lot of the day in Cavan. To ring anybody, you couldn't ring anything. There was no reception to ring anything. Um, so it's a perfect time for thieves. Thankfully, everything's up and going here. But that happened down beside Ballyjim stuff that direction. They took their chats and bowled a few houses and a few farmyards. So, even if somebody did get them, they couldn't ring the girls because there was no reception. In the majority of Celtic Cabin, there was no phone reception at all. All the phone networks are down. Was about it, yeah. No, here was an insane amount of stuff. The power went out, the phone networks went down, trees fell everywhere. Everything just fucked up. In some places, Cavan through the water's fucked. It's probably going to be fucked soon in all County Cavan. Yeah. I used to watch it then, yeah, and then I stopped watching them after. He used to GTA mods and stuff like that. Then he went on to roleplay, and I'm not that into GTA roleplay. I watch a bit of it, but I'm not into it too much. So that's I never watched it. He was from Estonia or Latvia, somewhere there. No, actually, he was a Latvian. Yeah, Latvia. He was from Latvia. Originally moved to the United Kingdom and stuff. That's where he's from. So no, I used to be a fan. Not that big of a fan of him now. Pito Lanza. Since he stopped doing the GTA mod videos, and not really, never really watched them. I think the last time watching must be last year or something. So I wouldn't classify that as a fan. It was only last year. But yeah, he was from Latvia. He's from Latvia, originally from Latvia, and then he moved to the UK. I think when he was 15 or something like that, he said. I don't know. Do you still watch them? Probably. I think a lot of the old school people who watched them back in the day don't watch them now. Does that make any sense? I wouldn't remember 1984, 87, 84. It's always 1984, isn't that right? Um, yeah, it was. Yeah, he was at one stage. Yeah, he was. Uh, well, he's in the Sun now. He's in Spain. He lives in Spain now. He's not living in Ireland now. He's not resident in Ireland. I wouldn't remember that one now, but I remember often people saying about it. But storms years ago used to be worse. You had good summers, as many people say to me, older people. You had good summers, but you had bad winters. It was always a good summer, but you had a very bad winter. Like if you think the winters are bad now, you should see some of the winters years ago. with snow and stuff like that. Barely the weather's freeze in this country and stuff like that. Years ago, they used to always freeze. I remember seeing photos and stuff like that. They always used to freeze. But yeah, he's Estonian. But I think he's Latvian, not Estonian, but he's Latvian. Yeah, yeah. We don't want to misgender, people from Latvia and Lithuania. They might not appreciate that. Um, um, but yeah, he would have a British accent because he grew up in Britain the majority of his life. You get what I'm saying? Um, like usually, if you're there with someone, like you gain an accent. You don't keep your original accent. Um, what the fuck? Yeah, I know. I get you. My parents used to walk to school with no shoes or anything. Um, Miles and miles, and same book to mass too. Hail, rain, or shine and stuff like that. They used to do it. Um, but things were too cruel back years ago. Times were tough and stuff. But I suppose it goes by that then. Hard times create hard men. Weak times create weak men, I suppose too. But things were too cruel. Life was far too cruel back then. Nobody talked about anything. And, people suffered a lot, for that. Um, but I suppose it's for the best because things were too cruel. Like even loads of old people I knew, even my father took example too, used to get hit in school and stuff like that. Like it doesn't really no good. Like all that kind of carry on. It did nothing for anybody. Ice boxes, yeah. Like we had a school bus, not just 2000. No, recently enough, I'm not that old. But yeah, there used to be ice boxes, but the school buses are old buses, that were nearly out of date. And basically they were ice boxes. There was no heating at all in them. So there you go. We're not playing any game tonight now, Tony, excuse me. We probably have to get to it at some stage because we are behind. I'm supposed to be ready doing it now, to be totally honest, if I was right. But I wanted to go live doing this. But yeah, we have to do it at some point. So we will get to it, don't worry. So we will get to it. Better homeschooling, yeah. But see, it's hard to do that now. As one parent said to me one time, there's two children. You'd like to do it, but sure, when you have a job and stuff like that, it's not easy. You have to pay the bills somehow. Even though I think the government gives some kind of money towards homeschool. There's some kind of grant or something like that. I remember somebody saying once to me. But yourself, it's difficult. You really have to kind of go out and walk and stuff. Yeah, well, it depends on the area in Finland. Like, it can get really, really cold. Like as we speak in one part of Finland, it's minus 35 degrees. So it depends on the area. Like in Helsinki and stuff like the major metropolitan areas down the south, it probably is. But in Lapland and stuff like that, it's usually always the case that it's around that. Sure, half of the time in Lapland there at Christmas, it was about that. Negative minus 27. I know that's insane. Never was seen here in this country. But yeah, in Lapland, that's what. So it's probably only in the southern Finland. I wouldn't know too much. Like, that's the most southern town, like northern town in the world. But I wouldn't know. But definitely, in southern Finland, it probably is because in southern, that's why the majority of people live in Helsinki, Tampere, and Turku. Because it's not a bit more. It's a bit more better than in Lapland and stuff like that. Up in Lapland, or over Yemi, or up even further north than that. But yeah, they're basically able to deal with it. Like, the cold means nothing to these children in Finland and Norway. Mainly in Finland. Finland can be colder than Norway now. Um, um, just ask any Russian about that, and they tell you that. I love the way in my latest video too that I'm just literally like when I'm talking about Leitrim, it's not a place. denying its existence. When I'm talking about trees and stuff like that, I'm just saying Leitrim's not a place. It doesn't exist. It's part of Cavan. It's West Cavan. Even though the video is about electricity and stuff like that, I'm just there like arguing about Leitrim not being part of, not having its independence, having its own sovereignty. Just saying it's part of the West Cavan. It doesn't exist. My. Dun, 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 dun. Bam, bam, bam. Because no, we're just saying about Scandinavian stuff. I'll just go back to that. In Denmark, it's not that cold. In the home miles in Denmark, more Greenland to be cold and stuff, and the Faroe Islands. Hello, Gizmo. How are we doing? I hope we're well in these times. But yeah, it's more in Norway, as you say, and bits of Swedish Lapland, and mainly Finland too. Finland's very cold, more than the West. Scotland, no. Orkney, no. I don't know. I don't think so. Like they've always been a part of Scotland, I think. Yeah, like Denmark doesn't get it that bad. It's more Finland. Finland's way up north. Finland gets it always bad every year, more than Sweden does. The very top of Sweden, like Swedish Lapland, they call it. And then obviously you were talking about Norway. That part of Norway does too, because they're up there, but not so much Denmark. Denmark's a good bit down. So I wouldn't say all of Scandinavia. Because it'd be quite unusual for that big of flurry of snow and that cold in Copenhagen, for example. Whatever, but maybe Greenland, or maybe the Faroe Islands. It could be cold enough in the Faroe Islands, but not in the Danish homeland, if that makes any sense. And not even down south in Sweden and stuff like that. No, it's not that far. It's still far enough, but not too far. But it still wouldn't be cold. It wouldn't be that. It'd be still cold, maybe in the winter, of course. All of Scandinavia would be cold. But mainly Finland would be the coldest, pretty much the whole lot of them. Like anywhere, like compared to Norway, Sweden, anytime you mention Finland to anybody, they're always like it's a very cold and dark place. Because everybody kind of doesn't go there because it's too cold. Which is true. It's pretty cold in the winter. Like even in Helsinki at the moment, I think it's minus 15 degrees or something. Like it's coldish. Land of Sheep, yes. But it can be cold there too. It can be very cold. Especially with being an island too. It's worse when you're on an island in the cold. And like you can only imagine people in the Aran Islands, how bad it was in the Aran Islands in the storm here. Or the Tory Island, or other islands too, off the coast of Ireland. It must be pretty, you wouldn't get probably power for another month by how bad it would be. And not even that too, you wouldn't be able to get off the island because there'd be no helicopters going, or there'd be no boats because of the choppy seas. Some Gaelic, yeah, it would have some Gaelic trying to it. It would kind of, but mostly it would be Nordic up there. Like all of them, all pretty much above us would consider themselves Nordic. Icelandic people would consider themselves Nordic, and the majority of them countries would. Anything above, as I say, Ireland, pretty much, not the UK, of course, and Scotland. Any other islands above us would consider themselves Nordic. Greenland, to a certain extent, would consider themselves Nordic too. Mostly, I wouldn't. It's hard to describe because some Finnish people wouldn't like you, but technically, what is it? Scandinavian countries is only Norway, Denmark, and Sweden, and Iceland. It doesn't include Finland. Technically, Nordic countries include the whole lot. Like there's a lot of discussion about that. They're considered Scandinavian, like Norway, Denmark, and Sweden, and Iceland. They're considered Scandinavia more than Finland. Finland wouldn't be considered Scandinavia. It's more Nordic. Like there's a huge debate about that. It would be correct saying all the Scandinavian countries are Nordic countries, but Finland wouldn't be left out of a lot of that. So there's always a big debate about that one. Yeah, Portugal. In Portugal. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's not that far away at the same time too. It's about, I don't know, a few hours probably from the tip of Scotland. It's not that far in theory too. It's a lot further from here, definitely 100%, but not from the tip of Scotland. It could still be a few hours though. Give me probably 6 or 7 hours probably from Scotland to get to the Faroe Islands. Uh, yeah, well, people from Finland and Estonia would get on very well, um, more than I suppose the rest of the Baltic countries. Um, but yeah, Faroe Islands. Yeah, well, I hear it'd be dear and the Kingdom of Denmark. As I said to you, I don't know if we hear the time. It's a long time ago. I don't know if you remember, but the democracy so much. Remember, I was saying about it before I went to Finland. I didn't say it at the time that I was going to Finland. I knew already that time I was going, but I don't know if you remember about democracy so much. I don't know if you remember. Basically, I don't know what you remember of it to fill you in. But yeah, that was going to be in Copenhagen. And I was thinking about going to it pretty much. Um, uh, like anything pretty much in Denmark. Like I know somebody that's a travel agent that I booked that time through. Anything, as he says, in Denmark or in Scandinavia in theory, is going to be very deal. Like, is very, very deal. Yeah, about that. Yeah, bit maybe a bit less, something like that. About 28,000, something. I don't know exactly, but something like that. It's only small. It's not that big of a place. Uh, it's nice scenery. You often look at online, you can see mountains and stuff like that, and waterfalls and stuff like that. I know what you're talking about. I've seen them many times. But yeah, it would be deal because it wouldn't be. It'd be very out of the way, pretty much, for people to go to. You probably have to go to. I don't even think there's a plane from Ireland going to the Faroes. I presume you have to go to Scotland to go to Iceland to get a plane or ship or whatever. Um, yeah, I wouldn't. The only thing I would say, if you were going up Nordic countries to Finland or to Norway, especially in Denmark too, you would need a lot of money on you because it's very expensive. That's why nobody really goes up that direction of the world because it's very pricey. The quality of life is good, but things are deal because you have to pay for these social services, and that's how they get the social services because they have heavy taxes, etc., etc. Um, so that's why you never hear of anybody ever going up that direction. Like I never met an Irish person who went up that direction. You know, apart from myself. Because a lot of Irish people rather go to the hot, nice, warm climates. Sit on the beach and stuff like that. I don't think you sit on the beach in Finland at the moment. If you did, you'd be buried in the beach. Um, 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 yeah, even Iceland is the same. But Iceland would be considered dear enough to get to. Well, not really. Well, there's a lot of Americans. When I was in Finland, there's a lot of Americans, and Finnish people are not that fond of them, to be totally honest with you, because they're too loud. You can hear them a mile away. They're just Finnish people tell you straight. They're just far too loud. They can't know the volume. They don't know the volume. But not. I never met a British person. I never seen a British person. I never seen a British flag. I've seen it at the British consulate. But there's no British people I've seen around Helsinki. So I don't know where they are, but there's not one I can pay. I hold anyway. You can hear the Yanks, like you can hear the Americans, you can hear them with their trying. Uh, you can hear them a mile away. The Blue Lagoon, yeah, it's you wouldn't get near it. There's that many people wanting to go to it. Has changed in this. Yeah, it's Yeah, well, you never know what kind of change you get. But as I say, anything up that clean sugar, you're telling lies about that. They're spreading misinformation. Like Finland does have the cleanest water in the world. Like it would be considered. You pretty much would be Finland and then Iceland. Like you're spreading misinformation that we have to deal with. But no, but would be considered. Yeah, Iceland would be considered, and Norway too, because they're coming from springs, pretty much. Um, because like the water from Helsinki comes from a spring, like from the ground. Like the same with the majority of Finland. Um, so it's pretty much natural. It's not even put into treatment plants or anything. That's coming straight out of the reservoirs. Well, what would you call it? The source? I don't know what you would call it, but you know what I'm saying. Um, like I seen the place. So it's near the airport in Helsinki. Uh, you can see where the water's coming from. You know. Um, Mainly too because again Helsinki and Finland in general too is the most less polluted country in the world. There's very little pollution from any source. Um, See, in Ireland, there's a lot of farm waste and stuff going into rivers and stuff like that. That's what's causing a lot of issues here too, like slurry and stuff like that going in. Speaking of uh, speaking of water and stuff, yeah. Where is this? Sorry, I'm looking for something specific. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. Usually, when I say this, it takes 9 fucking years. Uh, Sorry, give me some. Oi. Where in the name of God? No, that's not where that is. You can chat among yourselves. Sorry, I'm just again this thing. I always have to try and find things. Um, where the fuck is it? Sorry, excuse me. um, hmm. Yeah, there it's at. I said, I don't know. Someone's. I don't know. Yeah, well, I wouldn't go near the Nordics if I was you. If you're talking about like holidays, I would go to Greece if I was you or something like that. But Greece is nice. I haven't been to Greece, but I know people have been to Greece. It's a bit more cheaper, I suppose. It'll be a bit more better in your pocket too, and it's a bit of sunshine too. It might be a lot more nicer place to go to, or even Italy too. Wouldn't say Japan. Like go to Japan now. I don't know because it's a bit further away and it's a lot of money too to go to Japan because it's a long distance away. It'd be hard, as I said to you before, it'd be hard to get into Serbia. I think. But definitely Italy or Greece, I would say that be where you go. The Mediterranean in the summertime. That's your book. That's where you go. Even Malta too. Go to Malta for a few days. Um, but I see a lot of people like Greece nowadays. A lot of people like going to Greece. Um, but I wouldn't go to Norway. It's far too expensive. Believe me, I've already looked. Because you remember the Oslo summit I was talking about? The Oslo Business Summit that was in August gone by. Um, it's quite dear. Because it would have been a lot. I would have got a free ticket for it. But I would have to pay for my hotel and all that and my flights. And it's a lot of money. It is a lot of money for only about. I was going for 4 days, just in theory, when I was looking it up at the time. Uh, it's a lot of money. It's just to go 2 hours on the plane. It's a lot of money. Um, like we're talking a lot of money, especially then a different currency in Norway, particularly. It's a nuisance. But yeah, it would have been a few thousand just for a few days. Like a lot of when I say a few thousand, good bit of thousand, nearly as much as I nearly paid to go to Finland, but not roughly, but near enough. And then you add in your spend the money and all that. It's expensive. Like just thinking what I paid for Finland for a week, it's very expensive too when you think of that. Like people have literally gone to Spain for months and came back, and so, it's insane when you really think about it. Rhodesia too, yes. Rhodesia is nice to afford. See, I wouldn't be the type person for the summer. But yeah, no, Greece or Italy. I don't want to tell you what to do, but have a look at it. It'd be nice going to there. But definitely, you would want to have a good bit saved up for Norway if you're going to Norway. More than anywhere else, Japan the same. But definitely, we need a lot for Norway. Just by what I looked at that time, like if you were going for, because obviously you wouldn't just want to go for a day or two. It would be more cheap if you went for a day or two. But if you were going for a week, say, or a few days, if you wouldn't find it that enough. But even if you were on your own, I was going to go on my own, and even for Singapore, since it's a lot of money. Also, the Oslo area and all that, Trondheim and all that, all the big cities in Norway deal. As I said, there's a reason why people don't go that direction, because when you get the bill, you kind of fade. But again, you do it's your life. You get what I'm saying. But do go away. It's good to see the world. It's good to kind of look around, I suppose, do things, get out and about, even just to get off work for a while, just to go have a bit of a break. Enjoy yourself, because again, have a bit of a break. It's nice to go away and sit back and relax and not worry about anything for a few days, and it does help you out, especially in the summertime. Nice weather in Spain and stuff like that, in Greece or in Italy, because again, usually not the rains in the summertime. But anyway, so pretty much, Santa has done a great job. What I'm trying to say. So the think tank. So this is a thing done by study. So Santa has saved 40,000 jobs. Unfortunately, as this article says, the true Finns came along and that basically went down the toilet. Unfortunately, because they said, "Fuck all this. It's time to cut it all." So pretty much what this is saying, and it pretty much said it too, that Sanna Marin saved a lot of jobs. Pretty much, she saved 40,000 jobs and saved, as I said to you before, 96% of the small businesses, hairdressers, small shops, etc., etc. So pretty much, she saved the day, pretty much in terms of that, as this says. But then, unfortunately, the true Finns came along and that all went down the toilet. Unfortunately, so pretty much what this is trying to say too, that this was all for nothing, because a few years later, the true Finns came along and that was that pretty much, because but long story short, Sanna Marin saved the day pretty much for a lot of people, and saved a lot of businesses. But unfortunately, as I say, the true Finns came along, and the sitters came out, and all the cuts came, and that was the end of that. So it all disappeared. So pretty much what I'm trying to say, Sanna Marin should be back in the job, because she would make shit happen. Because you have to remember, last year Wika said there's going to be 100,000 new jobs added to the Finnish economy. There was only 20,000 jobs added last year, and they said there was going to be 100,000. There was only 20, not even fucking half of the jobs they said they were going to add in the Finnish economy, the true Finns. So take that as you will. For 1 year alone, Sanna Marin done more than the true Finns did. So, there you go. So we look at this too. So there's going to be an almighty strike, because everybody's pissed off and just fucking sick of the whole fucking lot of them in Finland. So, so basically there's going to be absolute uproar across every part of the country, because everybody's just fucking sick of the current Finnish government and want an end to them. So long story, Finnish government pretty much told them to fuck off. We don't give a shit about you. we're sending the police to get rid of you. Also, 27,000 people in job seekers in Finland. That's only last year. Nearly 30,000 people on job seekers. So it's going good in Finland. In 1 year, they managed to do that. So, and just to say, even during COVID, imagine it wasn't even like this. It never was up as high. This is only last year. Like in total, I think they said it's over nearly 200,000 people on job seekers in Finland. That was just last year. So everything's pretty fucked. So yeah, everything's fucked and everything will go out. So yeah, everybody's going on strike. The whole place is going to come to a halt. He's fucking pissed off with the current Finnish government. And not to mention, too, they were talking, and they already have done it. They limited the rights for people to strike, etc., etc. But pretty much everybody's fucking sick of them, so they're going to not pass any marks in that legislation and just ignore that legislation and just do it. So everything's going to go on strike, pretty much. And they're going to continue strike because they're that sick of the government in Finland. So it's great stuff, what I'm trying to say. So there you go. There's the true Finns are doing great work. So there you go. Joe Biden. Let me see. So yeah, I think we leave it there. Is there anything else for tonight? Is there anything else anybody wants to say before we go? Let me see. Sorry, give me a moment. Give me 2 moments. Thank you. Thanking you. Keep toast. Yeah, but the only thing about Sobe is, I say, it might be difficult to get there. That's the only thing, I suppose. But I could be wrong. It might be easier than said than done. That's grand, yeah. And just making sure, just double checking to make sure I have everything that I wanted to say. There's nothing that's urgent I need to say. Don't think so. I don't think there's anything. Let me just check. No, I think we're fine. I think we're good. Yeah, there's nothing there. Okay. So that's it for tonight. I just turned this off too when I'm here. So that's that. Hello, Deb. How are you doing? You're just coming in at the tail end. You're just literally coming in the last second. Who knows? Nobody kept count. We're too busy yapping. To be totally answered. So nobody kept count. So we should probably keep count. But I actually don't think he even mentioned her today at all. Like, did I mention? Did I mentioned? Did I mention her today at all? The way I said that, mentioned. But like anybody here, just briefly, because I don't think I ever did. Oh, I did actually, because I was just talking about the thing. Yeah, oh, yeah. I know. I actually tell a lie. I did actually mention. Oh, yeah, you did. Yes, I know I did. I just after thinking about it, and just after sitting down and say, yeah, I actually remember because I was giving a fuck about the true pins. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, so it was only about twice now, so it wasn't much. I have nothing to say about it. Just there's nothing to say at the moment. So long story short, only mentioned by twice, pretty much. So yeah, that was about it. Am I right? Please, here, help me here. Am I right? Or am I wrong? Or what? Am I right in saying twice? I should be right. I think it was twice in it. Sorry about yeah. So yes. yes, that's it. I think it was twice. Anyway. I'm not too sure. I didn't actually keep count. I didn't really look. Oh, I didn't register it to be totally honest that much. So yeah, I think that's it. That's that. Anyway, I talk to you later. We should be back Wednesday. There'll probably be a few videos out before that. Because there's a good few things I have to catch up on. So we will be back. We will be back making videos again, talking about different things. So hopefully all going well. Touch wood, because again, something else will probably happen, and that'll be that. But that should be the case. Next Wednesday we should be live, and probably this time, give or take. So yeah, listen, lads and lassies. Enjoy the rest of your night. Hopefully, if you do have power, hopefully that stays on. If you don't have power, hopefully that stays on. Hopefully that comes back as soon as possible. And we live it out. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it as always. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you.